The New York Times is facing fierce media backlash after an announcement made that they would be doing away with their political cartoons altogether after allegations of anti-Semitism from this cartoon back in April. Now, others in media now criticizing the paper of record for caving to the pressure. So joining us to discuss, conservative commentator and talk show host Steve Malzberg. All right, Steve, good to see you. So what's your take on this particular cartoon? Was it really anti-Semitic?
Well, I think it's pretty much universally been acknowledged that this was a mistake. The New York Times itself said that it was anti-Semitic and it was a mistake to print it. And I think most people weighing in would say that it's anti-Semitic. I mean, look, you got Donald Trump portrayed as a blind Jew being led around by a dog who is the Prime Minister of Israel, complete with a caricature, mean, big-nosed face and a Star of David around his neck. I mean, if this isn't anti-Semitic, then I don't know what is.
So, Steve, this was only published, though, in the Times' international publications. It wasn't here stateside. Why do you think that was?
Well, I've looked into that, and what I found is, and it was unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize it, I should say, is that the national edition of the New York Times said that they don't publish editorial cartoons, cartoons that have a political agenda of any sort. And only the international edition did, or does up until now, that they're cutting it out, so I guess we could say did. And in fact, they say, hey, this cartoon that you just showed has nothing to do with our decision to do away with cartoons now from the international edition. We've been thinking about doing that for a year so we could bring the international edition in line with the national edition, which I don't believe for a second, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm a little suspicious of that reasoning, but I mean, who knows? I mean, obviously people are saying that they're caving to the pressure here. But Steve, I mean, let me ask you this. Are we at a place in history now that just all humor has been lost? We already know that comedians, no longer want to go to universities because they say that, these kids take everything the wrong way. They get protests. I mean, that's not what they're there to do, right? Have we just lost a sense of humor in the world?
Well, we become too politically correct, as you and I have discussed many, many times. I think you're seeing it in every aspect of entertainment or anything considered media. And look, I mean, old movies are coming under attack. I mean, Mary Poppins. There are those who claimed, and this was out several months ago, it didn't get any steam, but that Mary Poppins dancing on the roof and getting the soot, the black soot from the chimney on her face was racist. I mean, my goodness. So yes, we're at a place now where any group could protest anything and say that it's racist, it's this, it's that. And to be honest with you, I'm a little bit shocked that the New York Times is backing down. I mean, all they have to do is police themselves. And if you can't police yourselves, you really don't belong in the business.
Right. I mean, couldn't they have just issued beyond the mea culpa, like, okay, we screwed up, we're sorry, but we keep moving on? And I mean, what does this say for freedom of the press and freedom of speech?
Well, we really don't have freedom of speech anymore, although the left has more freedom of speech than people on the right. When you see comedians and people being taken to task for speech and for, whether it's the spoken word or whatever, entertainment or whatever, liberals tend to get a pass more so than conservatives. When comedians go to college campuses, if they're in any way conservative, that's where the protests usually come about. But you're right. I mean, overall, the media is restricting itself more and more to conform to outrageous political correctness, and it's robbing us of creativity, entertainment, and information, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, loosen up, people. What about this, Steve? Many might actually view this political cartoon as nothing more than a criticism of the state of Israel and its relationship with Washington. How is this then any different than the controversial comments from Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? Some say she was critical of the state, not the Jewish people.
Well, she, again, almost universally, except for the radical left within her own party, said that she made anti-Semitic remarks. The mainstream of the Democratic Party, although they didn't pass the right resolution, they condemned her for what she said before they took it back, kind of. I mean, she used anti-Semitic tropes that are hundreds of years old. She brought up dual loyalty. She brought up money. I mean, these are anti-Semitic little signals and tropes that have been around forever. If she wanted to take the U.S. to task for their support of Israel, she could have done so in plain English. She didn't have to use those stereotypes, and she did.
Yeah. Steve, we're going to have to cut off your mic because you're just not nice about Ilhan Omar. So we got to leave it right there. Steve Malzberg, always appreciate your time, my friend.
My pleasure, Manila.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.